are the biggest mistakes you feel we should avoid as women business owners?
Well, this comes to something called the 10-80-10 rule. If you haven't read the book Survivor's Club, it's a really interesting book full of insight. But one of my favorite things that they talk about is something called the 10-80-10 rule. So here's how it goes. When the stuff hits the fan and we've got a problem, Houston, 10% of people immediately, they're leaders. They immediately take a look at the landscape, they figure out the resources, they come up with a quick plan of action, and they just move out. 10% of people just do it. 80% of people know they don't have a clue. They don't know what to do, but they're followers. They are looking for a leader. They're going to find that leader, and they're going to get in line and just start moving with the leader. That's what they want. So the good news is 90% of people really need you, because leaders are always interested in other leaders. They want to know what are the best practices, who's got some new innovations that they can adopt in what they're doing. They're always researching the marketplace, and followers need leaders. So 90% of people need you. The problem is when women, we love to try to help everybody. The problem is that there's 10% of people who are in a total state of panic. They are freaking out. They cannot take direction. They cannot hear you. Literally, the brain starts to shut down and you get this tunnel vision. And I was talking about fear and the importance of managing fear. It's because fear is wired into your brain, and it is part of your non-conscious mind. You cannot control fear. It is always present. And it pushes you into 3 different states: fight, flight, or freeze. Someone can literally be frozen in panic, tears streaming down their face. They cannot cope. They can't make things happen. Or they're in a state of flight. So they're trying this tactic, that tactic. They'll run over here. They'll try this. They'll pick this up, throw that down. And they just aren't organized. They're not systemized. They're not structured. And they aren't going to be, because they're constantly trying to find something new. The fight people, it doesn't matter what advice you give them. Oh, I tried that, it doesn't work. No, that couldn't work for me. They get belligerent, they get aggressive, they get pushy. And somebody who's in that state of panic, you may have the best of intentions, you really want to serve them, you really want to help them. The best you can do, truthfully, is help them feel better about themselves. And when they get to a level of being willing to follow, and that's the best way to get yourself out of panic. Notice when you are experiencing fight, flight, or freeze, because we all do at different times for different reasons. Notice when that happens and immediately go, you know what? This is a choice. I could choose to be a follower right now. Who could I follow as a leader? What resources could I discover? How can I make myself feel a little bit better right now so that I can focus on what the plan of action is? So I think that's the biggest thing that women and all business owners struggle with. We want to serve everybody, and truthfully, we can't. So you have to know who you can help, because they are 50%. If they are not ready to show up and be there and take action, there is nothing you can do. Nothing. Just support them, encourage them, provide good information, maintain that good relationship, because they will come out of that state of panic and they'll remember how kind you were, and then they'll be ready to follow you.
That's an interesting perspective. So basically, when you understand that you are in fact the leader, that there is someone who is already following you, and you're clear on your own fear and you're clear on your own focus and you're getting there, then keeping that focus and being open to listen to those that you know are not actually going to take any advice, but you give them kind of like space, but you have to carry on leading your own life and going through the things. It's quite interesting, actually. And another thing as well, like you're saying, I like that thing. Sometimes you go through this obviously yourself with that fear thing, that you become more aware of. Okay, now I am in the fear thing. Now, who is my leader? Yeah, that is interesting. It's quite interesting.